Yo guys, what is up? Welcome back to some more Zero Hour, or rather welcome to a question and answers session. So you remember like a month ago, both on Facebook and on YouTube, I put out some posts saying if you've got any questions for me, I will go through all of your questions and I will answer them. So we got about 65 ish replies if we combine Facebook and YouTube. Some of them are like multiple questions, so potentially maybe got close to 100 or 80 to 100 questions, something like that. So I'm going to be basically going through answering all of your questions. First of all, I might just tell you a little bit about me, and also I've got something to tell you as well, which is the main reason I'm actually making this question and answer thing. Is something probably didn't ever realize I'd be telling my viewers and fans on YouTube. But this main reason I'm doing it is because basically I can't hide it anymore. You probably heard on stream a few times some noises in the background, probably thinking, who does DoMiNaToR live with? Or what kind of family has he got and stuff like that. Well, I just want to start the interview by telling you a bit about that. So my real name is Rich, or Richard, when I'm in trouble or during sex. And if you know the UK, that's where I live. I was actually born originally in North Wales. So if you're familiar with the UK, you've got Wales, you've got Scotland, you've got England, and you've got Ireland. I was born in North Wales, and then about 8 years ago, something like that, I moved down closer to London. So I live closer to London now, if you know, familiar with the geography at all. And yeah, basically that's where I live. My accent is a bit muddled because in North Wales they kind of they sound northern. So if you're familiar with accents, they sound kind of northern. But as I moved south and as I started streaming as well, that's another thing. My voice I think has become a bit more clear. And I say words a little bit differently, but occasionally you'll still hear me say words like the northern way. I can't think of any examples now, but occasionally you definitely will hear me on stream saying some northern things at times. So yeah, some people actually say to me, why don't you sound Welsh if you're from Wales? Why haven't you got a Welsh accent? Well, actually, if you go to North Wales, there's a lot of places where the English have kind of taken over. It's actually something the Welsh actually get a bit defensive about their language, or at least, yeah, I'd say the language, not that accent, their language dying out and stuff like that. So yeah, in Wales, you have to, if you get a letter from anything official, you always have to get it in two languages. So you get it in English and you get it in Welsh, and you'll always get all road signs in Welsh as well as English. It's kind of weird, and in my view, a little bit of a waste of money. I'm sure we got some Welsh people watching this that are now a little bit offended, but yeah, everything has to be twice in Welsh. But yeah, I speak a little tiny bit of Welsh that we learned in school where it's compulsory. But yeah, I don't really sound Welsh or really even ever use the language. It's kind of only small percentage of people use it. So yeah, I now live near London. I live with my girlfriend. We have our own house. And the news that I need to tell you, really, which is the reason I need to make this video, is because I had a baby. So 18 months ago, definitely the best thing that ever happened in my life, I had a little baby. So yeah, I've got an 18-month-old now, and the reason I need to mention this in this interview and tell you all this personal stuff is because sometimes I'm streaming and I can't hide it anymore. When the baby, my lovely little baby, when he's crying in the background or making noise in the background, or just for example, yesterday I was trying to record some Clan Wars games, and he's now grown up enough to actually come inside of my office, open the door himself, and he went straight up to my stream deck. If you don't know what a stream deck is, just Google it. It's it helps me transition between all my scenes and helps me record and stream and stuff by just a click of a button. He literally, I shit you not, he walked straight in my door, walked straight up to my desk and pressed record off during the middle of a video. So I was playing Humanity on Clan Wars. I was up 2 or 3-0, and my little baby came in, press record off, lost me the game subsequently. But you know what, it's the most amazing thing ever. If you've not got children or anything, it's the most amazing thing ever. But yeah, that's probably it for my personal stuff now. I'll probably get over that, but you're probably thinking what yeah, the reason I need to tell you is because you'll probably hear him a few times, at least going forward. At least you'll probably remember a few 3v3 challenges and stuff like that. You've probably heard what I think people on the stream said, is that a dog or a cat in the background? It's actually probably a baby. I think Size and Google probably worked it out as well, because they've heard a baby in the background a few times. So yeah, beautiful little baby. You're probably thinking, what is his gaming name going to be? DoMiNaToR 2.0, Emperor with the capitalization like my name. But there's loads of different names. We've got a bit of time. Got a bit of time to train him. Potential #1 in the world in 0 hour, or whatever will be out at his time of playing. I'm sure he will. He loves my office. He loves coming in. Loves slamming on the keyboard. Loves turning my YouTube videos off. Loves everything. To be honest, it lives my office. My office is like very sensory. So if you come in here, the man cave gaming room, whatever you want to call it, there's LED lights everywhere, and there's like the Nanoleaf sound system. Sorry, light system that I have behind me. He loves the laptop, my work laptop, because I work in here and stuff. So yeah, enough about that anyway. I just wanted to kind of get that out there, because a few times on stream, well, in the future, you will definitely hear him in the background. You'll probably even hear him like slamming the door and opening the door and stuff. And it's getting to a point where I can't hide it, and I'm not really. I'm a very truthful person. Like, if you ask me a question, I'll tell you straight, no matter really much who it upsets or something. But I didn't want to kind of just say on stream, oh yeah, that's my baby. So yeah, I wanted to kind of put that out there. Anyway, so that's out of the way. He's 18 months, by the way. Yeah, that's out of the way. Now I don't need to hide it anymore on streams and stuff. So that's pretty cool. So yeah, my name's Rich. I'm 30 years old. Do I play any other games or anything? I do on my desktop now. I haven't looked at it. I've got CSGO. I do play. I got CNC 0 Hour, of course. Got the remaster as well. Apart from that, I don't really play any other games. They're the only games I play. Things I love doing and whatever. Obviously, I love streaming. I've got my computer pretty much. A lot of my spendable income goes on my computer and stuff, and making my office better, whether it's getting a whiteboard and putting ideas on the wall, and my fridge full of full of really unhealthy drinks and stuff like that. So yeah, I think that's pretty much all I need to tell you. I live with my girlfriend. We bought a house last year. Was it last year? Yeah, a year and a bit ago now. And yeah, I think that's pretty much me, or as much as I'm willing to put out on the internet. A few people say, like, what do you do as your day job, or do you do this as your do you do YouTube as your full-time streaming thing and whatever? To be honest with you, when people ask that, I really wish I could. I really wish I could do it full-time, but just being like kind of a small channel and like CNC 0 Hour, yeah, we've got a decent community, and we've got one of the biggest, or the biggest 0 Hour community on this channel for sure, which is really, really cool, and I appreciate it. We've got 15,000 subscribers now, quickly approaching on 20,000. Well, we're still 5k away, but I like to see it in a positive light. So yeah, I really appreciate that. But in the grand scheme of things, we're quite a small channel. Don't make enough to do this as a full-time. My main job is in travel and tourism. With like the lockdown and Corona and stuff like that, my business obviously is heavily impacted. Not my own business, but the company I work for, heavily impacted. I'm working from home at the moment, lucky enough to just be working 100% at home. My hours and all that kind of stuff are not reduced. But yeah, I remember in the past someone asked me about like how am I coping during the lockdown and stuff like that. And to be honest, if you like this Q&A session and you want me to maybe do some more in the future, or maybe to do like a podcast thing, I can talk about things in the future, because I do like talking. And I also think ever since I started streaming, like in my job, a big part of it is like presenting to people. You're presenting to people a lot higher up than you, directors. You're presenting to sometimes crowds of like anything from 20, 30 people up to like, I don't know, 300 or 400 people at a time. So I definitely think if anyone's thinking of streaming or starting a podcast thing, not that I've done loads of podcasts, but anything like that, then I do think streaming has helped me in that way. It's made my voice louder and clearer. I think I was already kind of good at like training people at stuff, like at work. There's a few skills and whatever that I have, and then I might train like the newcomers or the newbies or whatever. And yeah, I was always kind of good and clear at explaining and stuff. And I think that's why a few people have commented saying I'm quite kind of good at making the tutorials and explaining things simple to people in order for them to get better and whatever. So yeah, the streaming does help you in ways of life as well. Of course, you're just talking to a microphone and a PC screen and whatever. But it definitely has helped me in real life as well. I kind of forgot what the point of that was, but yeah, the travel and tourism is what I work in, and yeah, about the lockdown and stuff. So yeah, I've just been primarily at home right now in the UK to do with like the lockdown and stuff. Not that you've asked this, anyone. I don't think anyone's asked this, but just to kind of tell you what's going on. Like in the UK at the moment, we've got like the 3-tier system with the lockdown and stuff. So like Manchester, as of recording this video, 21st of October 2020, Manchester is like heavily locked down or about to go into a heavy lockdown, whereas the area that I'm in is kind of all right at the moment, but who knows, it could change and everything could close again. Sometimes like you do feel a little bit down when you're just kind of working at home for like what 7 or 8 hours. I do 8 hours, and then in the evening I might be recording videos or playing 0 hour, whatever. And sometimes you feel like, oh, you're just kind of stuck in all the time. But I never really feel too sorry for myself, because if I wanted to, I could just lay off the streaming for a few days, or just take a night off or whatever, and do more and go out more in the evening and stuff like that. So I don't really feel too sorry for myself. If I wanted to, I've got the choice. It's not like you're not allowed out of your house in the UK. Although at one point the lockdown was pretty bad. It was like you couldn't go more than 2 miles from your house or something like that. But that was right at the start. So yeah, in general, the lockdown for me hasn't been actually that bad. Like in the summer in the UK, it was actually pretty decent, because whilst everything was closed, it was still really hot at times for like a good few weeks, and I could go for walks and stuff. And like I said, I only moved to this house that I live in now only like 12 months ago. Then there was loads of places that I hadn't explored or hadn't even knew existed. So I went for loads and loads of walks with my little family. And yeah, it's the lockdown actually hasn't been that bad. At one point, I was probably going outside more than normal, going for walks every single day. I found like a little pig farm and all this crazy stuff. So yeah, enough about the intro anyway. You probably want to get to the questions, but just a little bit of an insight into me. You probably gained a little bit more of an understanding of me, and now you know like kind of my age and what I do and stuff like that. All right, so going to move over to the questions and jump straight into this. I'm going to start with the Facebook questions. I've got less there, then I can kind of close that tab. We're going to read this one first. Peach Cole said on Facebook, Domi, why are you such a noob now? That was 5 weeks ago. And he said, oh, are there any special challenges you'd like me to sponsor? Why am I such a noob now? Well, I think I'm definitely, there's a mixture of things. The reason I'm not playing as much, you could go back 5 years ago and see how much I was playing. I was playing like hundreds and hundreds of games per month. Now, how many do I play? Probably like 50 to 100, maybe less than 50 some months. Definitely less than 50 some months. And there's a few reasons for that. One, my family, which I just told you about. And two, you could say everything. I'm getting older. I was 25 5 years ago, and now I'm 30. I don't think that affects it too much, to be honest. But streaming and casting challenges and stuff like that, I've been doing a hell of a lot of that. Sometimes I was doing like one every single night for a while. So that takes away from you playing as well. And so yeah, at some point you got to make a decision. Do you want to be like a top player, or do you want to be a caster, or do you want to do 50-50? And if you do 50-50, you're probably not ever going to be number one. So you got to kind of make a decision. Over the last few weeks, I did start playing Clan Wars again, and I was doing pretty well. I think I got like rank 2 or 3 on Clan Wars, but it was kind of early on, and it generally all that matters really is the stats kind of towards the end. But I know if I just stop my casting and stop my video making and just hammer the Clan Wars ladder, I have no doubt that I could be really decent on the ladder and stuff. I could even jump online now, and I could probably take down a lot of the top players. Maybe not like 90% win streak, get 70% wins against the top players, but I know I can mix it with the top players. So why am I such a noob now? As of 5 weeks ago, I think that was before I was spamming more Clan Wars, but after I got comments like that and stuff. If you check back at the Clan Wars over the last few weeks or whatever, I have been spamming a lot, and I've been playing a lot against top players like Size and XCal as well, because I believe play the best, you become the best. So yeah, moving on to the next question then. Is that me or ML? Zali? I think that one. Question number 1. These questions not in any order, by the way, so they might be all jumbled up and stuff. This one actually is from Marksman. Marksman is sometimes a follower on the stream and stuff. You'll see him in the chat. He said, is the microwave tank on USA supply drops allowed in 1v1 matches since it's no rules? Okay, so since it's no rules, yeah, that's fine, but actually fair play rules apply. And fair play is like bug abuse and stuff, and that does come under bug abuse. So yeah, sadly, the microwave abuse is not actually allowed in 1v1. So it does say, it actually makes no sense since USA has bad late game eco. Does USA have bad late game eco? I suppose it does, because a supply drop zone drops off 1500. With the upgrade of the supply lines upgrade, it drops off 1650, which means it takes like 5 or 6 minutes to pay for itself. I don't think it has necessarily that bad a late game eco, especially if you get that upgrade. But I think USA in general is very, very overpowered in 0 hour. It's like it's the strongest of the factions. I mean, you've got Air Force and Laser, which is basically well, Air Forces just dominates. Yeah, sure, you got things like Tox is really, really good as well. But I mean, if you make USA even stronger, I mean, how's that going to do against like nuke or China or tank and stuff like that? I think it's going to imbalance that. So yeah, sometimes you might balance one thing, it might make it more balanced versus versus GLA, in which case I would probably agree with you, but it'll make it more imbalanced towards the China. So you'd probably have to make a number of changes, which I know, again, another podcast or another chat topic you'd like me to hear me talk about. How could we balance it around if there was a remaster made? What would be like the few main balance changes we could make? We could come onto that in the future. Question 2, he says, do you think maps like Surprise Party would make it in future tournaments? It kind of imitates the Fog of War you talked about before. So for anyone who hasn't seen this, the Surprise Party kind of modified map thing is basically, what was it again? Everything was stealthed. Yeah, everything was stealthed. So there's a guy called Eargasm, or is it I Love Eargasm? I think that's his full name. I see him as like the mad scientist of 0 Hour, or at least 0 Hour world builder and map making, because I see him as like this Einstein or this fuzzy white hair, and he like gets all these chemicals and pours it all over these maps, or pours it into world builder and comes out with all this kind of crazy shit. And that's the way I see Eargasm. So what is Surprise Party? Surprise Party is like a modified map where it can be a normal map. Let's say it's like DEFCON 6, but everything is stealth. So your CC is stealth, your Dozer is stealth, your Chinook is stealth, your Avenger is stealth, your Workers are stealth. Everything is stealth. You might have seen it on my channel before. It's kind of mental. Do I think it would make it in future tournaments? Potentially, yeah. You could do some fun tournaments, because there are kind of some weird tournaments that come around every now and again. But we have to fix the mismatching issue, because if Eargasm's watching this, I really wish you'd fix the mismatch issue. Something really weird, like I said, is a mad scientist. Mad shit does happen. And one of them was when you do a flame wall, the game just mismatches. Even though both of you got the map and the same mini file, the game just mismatches. So yeah, we'd have to fix all the kind of issues first, because I think when I tried to do a mini challenge between Boyka and Google of that, it really did. I think it it definitely took the shine away from it, because people just think, oh, it just mismatches now, it just causes problems. So yeah, and it is a little bit weird. People like the original game. They don't really like change. So yeah, Peach Cole, we've answered this question about why I'm such a noob. Omar on the Facebook said, what do you do in real life? Well, I've already answered that. Any hobbies other than gaming? Well, a lot of my time now is taken up by spending time with family and stuff. Most of my family still live in, well, all my parents and grandparents and stuff, they live in Wales still. So like a 4-hour drive up there for me. So I go and see them when I get any free time, or when I get a little bit of free time, I spend it with my family. Other than that, I love traveling and stuff. I work in travel and tourism, so I get, when I go away, I get treated like a king and queen. If you've ever seen any videos on my Facebook, just go and have a look at like kind of the rooms that I get. Like holidays, casinos, this kind of stuff is drinking, raving. I love to party. I love drum and bass and going to raves and stuff like that, which I'm kind of missing in festivals. I'm kind of missing at the moment due to Corona and the lockdown and stuff. That's probably my main things. There's other things I do like to play sports and whatever, but I think because I moved away from all of my friends from in Wales, like I used to play rugby all the time, I used to play football all the time, like literally any free time I got, I used to do all that kind of stuff. But when I moved away, it kind of got difficult, because all those mates I used to play with, yeah, we all some went different directions and stuff, but yeah, I moved miles and miles away. Okay, Ariel said, strategy for nuke versus tank, get Emperor fast, he said. Strategy for nuke versus tank, assuming you mean your nuke. I think one of the safest all-round best build orders is to go War Factory and a Barracks. And with the Barracks, just bunker off one side. And with the War Factory, you might make like 1 or 2 Battle Masters and a GAT, just in case he does a Helix. And then eventually, yeah, your long-term strat should be going Overlord's ECM, and you can also do a nuke cannon as well. If you get that combo, you get up to 2 War Factories, get your Lotus out quick, then there's no way really tank should be winning. What should tank be doing? Well, tank doesn't really want to let it go that late, because nuke becomes more powerful as it goes late. It tends to level up faster as well, because he's killing your vetted tanks, your vetted battle masters. So you can, one good strat for tank, is one that springs to mind, is to go mass ECMs and helixes. So you disable all this stuff and then come in with the helix. Come in really, really pro strat. If you pull that off, you will you will look very, very pro indeed if you get that against a win. Ariel also says, where can I download new maps? Well, if you look in my Discord channel, you can get all of my maps there. I think I've got put like 1,000 there. But if you just want the ranked maps, like the official the unofficial ranked 1v1 maps and 2v2 and 3v3, just get Gentool. Go to gentool.net. If you haven't got that, you've got no reason not to get it. It's anti-cheat. It has like more maps in it. It's got like I think it's got a little bit of extra zoom and widescreen support. Just get Gentool, by the way. Just get it. Just get it. Waldron Steve on Facebook said, why do you constantly play CNC? Why do you not play any other games, as in the old school ones like Age of Empires? Age of Empires, to be honest, the definitive edition, I did look at that recently, and I'm always on the lookout for a new RTS to play, but to be honest, there's just nothing more fun and addictive, and you could say more active right now. Okay, Age of Empires, I heard that actually does have a fair few players right now, but I don't know, man. It just hasn't got the same ring to it when you're playing it. Zero is just so much better. I mean, the things are all modern, the tanks are all modern. It's kind of a more realistic thing, whereas like Age of Empires, yeah, it's kind of, I don't know if you can flick between the ages in Age of Empires, or is it all just one age? Like, is it all like medieval? Not 100% sure, but I did play Age of Empires. I think, is it 2 that I played? It was one of the first games I played on LAN, actually, which was again probably like 10 or 15 years ago. Yeah, probably longer than that, 15 years ago. Yeah, probably before I switch to Age of Empires, or before we look at that again, I'll probably wait for Age of Empires 3. There's also a new game coming up, Starship Troopers, that I'm looking for. Supposed to be an announcement on that soon. Yeah, but the reason is I just love Zero, man. And even if I tried to step away from it, like tried doing videos on the remaster and stuff, like there's just not as much uptake, at least on my channel, for that. All my viewers and all kind of what I built, like what we've built, 15,000 subscribers, mainly are here for Zero. Well, 99.99% are here for Zero. So yeah, in terms of making videos and stuff, yeah, for now it's at least going to be Zero, but hopefully there's going to be a new CNC or something amazing in the future. Khalid says, can you name me your top 10 players active right now? I'm gonna say for that one, just go back to my YouTube video I made. It's actually a live stream when I did the live draw for the Domination 2020 World Championship live draw. If you check like 5 minutes or 10 minutes into that video, you'll see me rank the top 10 active players. The only one probably missing from that is Google, because he's now retired. Probably put him at like 4 or 5 or something like that. But you pretty much see in that video who I rank. Think about Logica 1, Xcal 2, Size 3, Boyka 4. Probably put Google at 5, even though he has retired. Then you got likes of like Fargo, Scuba, these kind of players. Okay, Mr. Gerbil says, what was your first general and why? What was your first general and why? Like when you were new to the game. Okay, when I was new to the game, so I first played the game in 2003 or 2004, and all I ever used to do you remember Quick Match, when Quick Match actually used to work? Quick Match was amazing. I loved Quick Match, and I really, really miss it. If we could fix one thing in Zero, like make that work on Revor, it would be Quick Match, because there'd be no dodging. It'd always be play the Quick Match, you play against whoever you are. It's all random. I used to love that thing. What did I used to play? To be honest, there was only it was kind of weird. I would typically play any map, but mostly Twilight Flame, 1v1, and I would go infantry, and I would just do a helix rush every time, and I'd build my stats that way, because 99% of the time a helix rush on Twilight Flame is going to work. That's what I used to do. A bit after that, yeah, I would play free-for-alls and 2v2v2s. I wouldn't be surprised if I'm like one of the people who has played the most free-for-alls and 2v2v2s in the entire game's history, which is why it kind of annoys me, like, because I used to play that back in 2003, and then, okay, I did take a break for a bit. People could have overtook me. I went playing CNC3 and Kane's Wrath for a while, and then I think I came back to Zero like when did I come back to Zero? 2011-ish or something like that, or 2011, 2012. Yeah, probably maybe 2010. I don't know, about 10 years ago. And yeah, free-for-alls, 2v2v2s used to be one of my favorite game types. In free-for-alls and 2v2v2s, that's when you kind of got to learn to play random. But yeah, what I was saying is basically it annoys me when people say they know pro rules now, when I've been playing pro rules, or what we had as pro rules back then. It's like, you speak to someone different every single day on Game Ranger or whatever, who's probably been playing the game for just a couple of months, and they say pro rules is this and something different, something completely different. Like, what did someone say the other day? Someone said something crazy like no battle buses or something in pro rules, and it's just like, Come on, man. So yeah, my first general, if you're going way back, is infantry. What did I used to do? Is a helix rush on Twilight Flame. But if you want to talk now, what's my favorite general? Probably going to be one of the strongest generals, which is Air Force, or I like to play Tox as well. Okay, Fake Money said, when are you going to resume the How to Play USA series? Yeah, it's a good question. It was on my list. As soon as the answer. It's still, I keep notepads on my desktop of videos I need to make. It's on my list. It's not forgotten about. I think the thing with USA, because it is very samey, you do 2 supplies, you do War Factory, you do a barracks, and you spam V's. That covers you for 90% of the games you're going to play. Unless you've got like USA Murray, you're going to be dropping down a barracks first and doing a drop and stuff like that. So for the USA series, it's... Whereas China, you've got like loads of different build orders. GLA, you can send your workers all over the kind of place. You can do 3 supplies and stuff like that. For USA, it's a little bit harder, so that's why it's taking me a little bit longer. But I still have my notes about what's going to be in part number 2, so it's still going to be... it's still going to happen. Okay, so Fake Money again said, is it possible for a noob to become a pro and work their way up the ladder, or is it too late for 0 Hour? So the level right now in 0 Hour, yes, is pretty high, and you've got people like me who've been playing it for many, many years. Fargo, I think, said he played it for 5 years. You've got Size, who's played it for probably like 17 years and stuff like that. However, do I think it's too late? No, I don't, if you have the right mindset. So let's say you've been playing another game competitively. Let's say you've been playing Counter-Strike and you've been practicing every single day and you've been trying to get better and trying to get better, and you're really angry if you lose and whatever. If you've got that mindset that you want to be the best, I don't think 0 Hour is that hard to learn. Because like I said before, going back to the USA question, a lot of it is very samey, and it doesn't even have like even remotely the same depth to it as a game like StarCraft 2, for example. So just for example, if you're China and you build a propaganda center, okay, you're teched up, you've got your tech, and now you can build overlords, ECMs. Whereas in like, look, I'm not an expert in StarCraft 2 and the knowledge of build orders and stuff like that, but there's like loads and loads of different buildings. If you build this, you can build these units, and if you build this, you can build these units. Whereas in when you play in China, you build a propaganda center, okay, it's unlocked all your tech now. When you upgrade to chain gun GATs, it gives you plus 25% extra damage. Whereas in StarCraft 2, for example, you get plus 1 damage, and you get plus 2 damage, and you get plus 3 damage. And when do you want to purchase that? And then you get plus 1 armor, plus 2 armor, and then do you get a certain upgrade for your infantry, the stim pack and all that kind of stuff. There's loads of different upgrades and loads of different depth to it. I'd say it's probably like 3 or 4 more layers of depth at least, and probably hundreds or thousands of different build orders compared to 0 Hour. Like I said before, with the USA, you've got War Factory in the barracks, and you spam V on the keyboard, and you spam M for Missile Defender on the keyboard, and you, lo and behold, have got some units, some called Humvees, that are anti-stealth, anti-air, anti-everything, that just destroy everything on the entire battlefield. So just from building that, you don't even really need to tech up half the game against most players. So is it too late to learn 0 Hour and to work your way up the ladder? If you want to become number 1, okay, you're going to be at a little bit of a disadvantage. But if you just want to work up and be in the top 20, I don't think it's necessarily that hard, as long as you've got the right mindset. But even said, there's people like Vivid who've only been playing the game like, what, 18 months or 12 months, and they're already probably ranked in most people's top 5 or top 6 players. He's a young guy with the right mindset, wants to learn. Never be afraid to ask people for help, whether it's someone the same level as you or someone more skilled than you or even lower level. Just never be afraid to ask questions, or never be like too prideful to ask a question. I always say, even me who's been playing for many years, or even someone else, I would always say, never be afraid. Always ask questions and whatever, because you'll learn. You can learn faster. And I think there's never been a better time to learn 0 Hour, because the amount of content that is out there. There's loads of videos on YouTube, not just from my channel, but some others. And there's replays out there. You can go on gentool.net and download everyone's replays. Whereas, like, looking at people's posts on the forums, just like yesterday, they didn't used to have that thing back in the day. So they didn't used to have replays back in the day. So like before the days of Gentool and stuff, so like if you were playing in 2005, 2006, you were lucky to get a replay of some pro players. Whereas now, you just go on gentool.net and you steal their build order, copy it, and that's it. So yeah, is it too late? It depends if you've got the right mindset to be number 1. Grey Goat says, why do you never use the Tomahawk or stealth fighters? Well, stealth fighters and Tomahawks. Tomahawks are actually pretty good. Probably should use them more, especially when you're against like buggies. If you get them in numbers, you can actually take out buggies with search and destroy from a bigger range. So actually, yeah, Tomahawks against a lot of stuff actually are very good. The only thing with Tomahawks is they're slow and they're low armor. So let's say you make like 3 or 4 of them and then suddenly a battle bus is near your army, they can go down so quick and you can lose like 4 or 5k very quick to your invested Tomahawk. So yeah, it's probably something I should use a little bit more, but I don't think they should be like mass produced because like I said, they can die easier and they're expensive. Like what are they for Air Force? Like 1300. I think for some of the other gens are they like 1200 or 1400 for some. I'm not 100% sure. Stealth fighters, I don't think they're good enough to justify a general's promotion, but I do think for Air Force they probably could be used a little bit more. But then again, Air Force does have things like King Raptors, which are equally as good at taking down defenses. So I think stealth fighters probably a little bit underused, not as much as Tomahawks, but stealth fighters really aren't really that good, unless maybe like in 2v2v2s you want to take down some base defenses really quick without losing anything. You can do it in that case. Bunker busters is kind of hard to use correctly if you want to like bust it and then hit it exactly the same time. It's really hard to pull off. So yeah, I think they're a little bit underused, but not massively. He always said, why do you always pick up leaflet? Leaflet drop for gem powers when it's too slow and almost never helps. Leaflet is like a mini EMP, and if you it can be the difference between winning and losing the game. You EMP a whole army, then you could win the game. So yeah, leaflet definitely one of the best generals promotions. Like let's say there's a sneak attack, you're on DEFCON, there's a sneak attack in your base and your CC is right there, right next to the sneak attack. He pops all of his army. Well, the general's promotion always comes from the side of the map where your CC is closest. So if your CC is right there in the corner, then it will come from the corner. So it could EMP, or technically EMP, or disable those vehicles very quick. So sometimes, yeah, it misses when it's got to go across a long map, but a lot of the time it does hit as well. He says genuine questions, not trying to criticize. No, man, no criticization taken, if that's a saying. CEO of Ships says, I can barely beat medium army. I guess he means any way to improve at CNC. Well, like I said before, you got to have the right mindset. You've got to download and replays from gentool.net. The tutorials and all that kind of stuff is out there. I mean, it's all right it being out there, but if you don't put in the effort and you're not willing to improve yourself, then nothing's ever going to change. So you need to put in that effort yourself, but all the stuff is there for you. Amjad says, I saw an ad the other day and there was a person in it that looked just like you. It was about business or something. Was it really you, or am I just dreaming? Well, listen, I'd love to be in adverts. Or maybe I'd just do the voiceover. I think I'd be more confident just doing the voiceover, but nah, as far as I'm aware, it wasn't me. And if it was, I at least want paying for it, because adverts has got to be some decent money in it. So yeah, to my knowledge, it wasn't me. Hey Mosh says, do you think it's profitable to make a YouTube channel these days on 0 hour? Does your channel make a good profit, and is it worth your time? Well, I'm not going to reveal exact figures to you and stuff, but if you added up all of the hours that I spend editing videos and doing streams, and sometimes you don't see like the editing behind it, or when my computer's left overnight rendering videos and stuff like that. If you added all that time together and then divided it by how much money I made, I probably would not be on very much. I'd probably be on a lot lower than minimum wage. I probably could be better off going to a little shop and getting like the lowest wage ever and just working them same hours, and I probably guarantee you I'd be earning more. However, would I enjoy working in that little shop on top of my other job? No, I wouldn't. So what am I getting paid for? I'm getting paid to make I'm getting paid while YouTube does not pay very much for ad revenue. If you know anything about ad revenue, it doesn't pay all that much. I think if you're lucky, on average per 1,000 views, YouTube pays something like $1. So I mean, you can probably do the maths. So is it worth your time? Yes, because even though it's not that much, I am playing a game that I absolutely love and earning a couple of dollars for it. So per video. So yeah, it's is it worth your time? Yeah, because I like doing it. If I didn't enjoy doing it, would it be worth my time? No, definitely not. Okay, so Nighthawk Sim says, are you going to have clothing designs for 0 hour? I recently looked into this, and things were going to happen. But the thing is, the website I wanted to do it on actually charged like a monthly fee, and I wasn't sure whether me selling clothing designs and stuff would actually make more than to cover that fee every single month. I actually highly doubt it. So do I want outgoings when I'm not sure I'm going to make money? No, I don't. So that's kind of on hold for now, unless I did it on a free one, like there's like Teespring and stuff like that. But if it's to do with 0 Hour, you're not allowed to by law copy anything that's copyrighted, obviously. So if it's like a quote from 0 Hour, or if it's like a picture of 0 Hour unit or something like that, you could not really do it without breaking the law and getting arrested and getting EA games on your case. So kind of makes it difficult as well. So yeah, for now that's at least on hold, at least for a long while, I would say. Akshay said, please upload/stream in 4K 60 FPS. I don't think 4K is needed for 0 Hour. I really don't. I don't have a 4K monitor as well, so I'd at least want to see the difference or see what I'm uploading. I only have a 1920 by 1080p monitor, and the reason I have that is because I've got a high refresh rate monitor, so it's like 144, I think, my monitor. And to generally get a 4K 144 one, they're either quite rare or super expensive. So I don't. To answer your question, though, 60 FPS, I always upload in 60 FPS, whether it's live stream or in video. And the 4K thing is just simply not needed in my view. I mean, if you've got data or screenshots to prove otherwise, feel free to send it me or link it me in this video. But otherwise, I probably won't be doing that anytime soon, at least. But I'm always looking to upgrade my computer and stuff. So eventually, like I say, I could make a video in 4K. It'd probably take like twice or 3 times as long to render the video, which I'm not a fan of. Leaving my computer overnight, rendering all the time and stuff like that, taking sometimes time away from playing. So 4K for me is not worth it. Hiking Nurse says, what do you do for work? Are you a computer engineer, a medical doctor, or a wizard? Love to be a wizard, man. I already answered the question at the beginning, so that one's fine. Guy with what I think is an Arabic name, but I'm not 100% sure. He says, what games will you play in the future? What games will I play in the future? Well, I'm looking forward to... I'm actually... You may not know this. I like MMO. Why can't I say it? MMORPG games as well. So I used to be hooked on World of Warcraft at one point, many years ago. And then recently, you would have probably seen I've been playing that New World game. But that's now been taken off. But especially talking about RTS games, I'm always looking out for a new Command & Conquer. The Command & Conquer remaster I played for a bit. In terms of future, I think I mentioned it before, Starship Troopers, Age of Empires 3. There's a new company called Frost Giant Studios that have just been formed by a lot of the developers from StarCraft 2. They formed their own company and got like $4.6 million in revenue. By the way, I suggest find them on Twitter, Frost Giant Studios. Tweet them and tell them you love Command & Conquer and you would love a game like a modernish game like 0 Hour, like with realistic units, not too futuristic. Because they're planning on making the next big RTS esport. So imagine if we can sway that in the direction of like a 0 Hour style game. Not obviously copy it, not have paladin tanks and crusaders and stuff. But imagine that we could sway it to be anything remotely like 0 Hour. Okay, Janice says, I feel you are so bad now. I saw your previous video. You're so pro, but now you can't defeat Boyka and Excal. Why, man? We want you to rematch Boyka and Excal and defeat them all because you're the boss. We love you from Kurdistan, Iraq. Thanks, man, for your comment. Well, like I said, I've been playing a lot more recently. I've actually got a tournament tonight against Excal, by the way. I'm in the Strangelands tournament. It's down to the final 3 players, me, Boyka, and Excal. They're both very good players, spamming a lot of games. Boyka's playing against sides like almost every day, so they are super hard. Like I say, maybe at one point I'll step away from streaming a bit more and I'll try just focusing on my playing and maybe try and take him down. But I'll be trying to take Excal down tonight. But at the moment, I don't actually think I'm that bad, to be honest. Okay, Joseph Seed said, the pictures or photos you're posting about 0, is that a new mod? Ooh, okay, so this is if you're a follower on Discord, if you're in the DoMiNaToR on Discord, then there's a little tab called Secret Project or stuff where I just posted some it looks like a 0 Hour remaster, but it's not. It's just going to be like a for show thing. But yeah, there's a big thing, there's a big video coming on that soon. It's just basically what would 0 Hour look like with ultra realistic graphics like in real life kind of thing. So yeah, look out for that. It's going to be very soon. I'm working on that most days. Frosty says, why do you never talk about your family? Well, I just did. That's why I'm making a video. Plus, why do you not invite CNCHD to play Defcon, FFA, or Casino? CNCHD is actually CNCHD is the reason this YouTube channel exists and the reason I'm playing, because he messaged me all them years ago saying that I should make a YouTube channel, and lo and behold I did. And actually, if you look at our channels now, CNCHD's main channel compared to mine, we're actually very close in terms of subscribers. So I think I've got like 15,200, he's got like 15,700 or something, when he used to be way ahead of me. So so yeah, that's not like me bragging or anything, but I mean it's all happening because of CNCHD. Without him, I would have never made a channel. In fact, I said to him, it's not even worth it. It's not even worth my time. It's like too complicated or whatever. But yeah, CNCHD, big shout out to him, because he's the reason that I started YouTube. So why don't I invite him? Well, to be honest, he's always welcome. He's always welcome to join any of my games. Typically, he doesn't really play casino or free-for-alls from what I see, but he's always welcome to join. So if he's watching this and wants to join anything, definitely give me a message and we'll play some games together. Anthony85 says top 5 players of all time. Well, I think I said it before. Logica, Excal. Oh, sorry, all time. Oh, it probably wouldn't be far off anyway, though. Logica, Excal, Size, Rage. Oh, who would be number 5? Of all time, I don't know if I'd put Boyka there or not. The 5th of all time is kind of hard, I think. There are some players, some very top players from before my time that looked very, very good. So, for example, like there was a guy called Blind. And if you ever seen one of his replays, he was an absolute beast. You've got Spalding back in the... Oh, you got Dackle as well. So probably Dackle would be number 5, to be honest. Yeah, just in my view, number 5. Because you're saying of all time as well. So that's like over the last 17 years, who has been the best or the most dominant for the longest period of time as well. So like, a lot of people probably would put Spalding in there. But Spalding right now, from what I see, he is back and playing 0 out. But you never see him playing any decent games against any top players. He's always playing something newbie or only plays like within clan stuff and whatever. So maybe he's dramatically slowed or got worse or whatever. So, I mean, based on that, I probably wouldn't put him on my top 5. And I wasn't really around when he was playing anyway. So, but from what I gather, I probably would put Dackle there. Because I think if Dackle came back now and played for a few months or whatever, I think he would get back to being super, super good. So, yeah, I think probably Dackle as well. Okay, Danny said, how many China vanilla hackers do you need to hack money at the same rate as a black market? That's a good question. Probably one that I'm not going to quickly work out now. Well, I think a black market earns, what is it, 600 per minute? And a hacker gets $5 per couple of seconds. I mean, I don't know, man. Where's Jendi? I'm sure Jendi will answer that. CNCLOL says go casino. I agree, man. I haven't played casino for a while, and I've got some news for you. There's an 8-player version of casino coming very, very soon, so watch this space. Oh man, a difficult name that I can't pronounce. Prithviraj Solanki. I'm sorry, I probably butchered that name, but would you consider playing Civilization 6? I don't think so, no. I have looked at a few screenshots of it a few times. I don't know. It's not really a battle game, is it? Like, you don't really wage war and like micro units against each other. I don't think so. So as soon as I don't see that, it's not really for me, to be honest. He says it's a great game, but sadly doesn't have much of a competitive scene. But well, you can keep the game alive. See if Civ 6 grows. Yeah, to be honest, with the lack of battling and micro units and stuff like that, I'm honestly not really that interested, to put it nicely. All right, Obsession the Cat. Is gaming more of a hobby or a job for you? It's definitely more of a hobby, but it is nice to get a little tiny bit of money from it, just to like, well, historically, like any spending money I got, what do you call it? Expendable income? Or what do you call it when you've got like spare income, like from working and stuff? I can't remember. I think it's expendable income. Any money I'd get from a job or whatever that I don't have to spend on bills or anything else that I'm saving for, then typically I'd always spend it on upgrading my computer. But now I can kind of use a little bit of YouTube money, and any donations I get, I always invest that back in. So yeah, it's nice to do that to kind of buy computer parts. Computer parts, always new stuff is coming out to make your computer faster, and it's always a little bit expensive, so that kind of helps. He says, I mean, you have to invest a lot of time to create and edit lots of videos. Yeah, I already covered that before, so you do get enough money for it. So yeah, like I said before, if you added all the hours up, it definitely would be worth it. But I enjoy doing it. So I mean, even if I earned 100% more or 100% or 90% less, it doesn't really matter, because I enjoy doing it more than anything. DoMiNaToR said, have you ever trained any martial arts? Nice question. Interesting question. I don't know if it's classed as a martial art. Is kickboxing classed as a martial art? I don't know, but how old was I? I must have been like 17 or 18, maybe 19. Yeah, between those 3 years or whatever, I used to train kickboxing, actually with a very famous person. Now, you probably won't have heard of him, but if you Google him, it was called Spencer Wilding. And actually, if you know Star Wars, actually, who did he play in Star Wars? Yeah, in the latest Star Wars, or one of the latest Star Wars, he played the actor of Darth Vader. And he's also been in some other ones as well, like Fairy Dust or something like that. He was in as well. He's an actor and been in some pretty big stuff. That was after. There's some other films he's been in too. But yeah, basically, he was one of the British, or one of the best kickboxers in Britain ever. I don't know. I might be exaggerating there, but he was at least a champion in Britain. He's like 6'7" or 8, maybe taller. I don't know. He's absolutely massive. And he was amazing at kickboxing. Yeah, and I used to train with him. I only used to go for fun, to be honest. I only used to go to keep fit. It was kind of cheap, and to train with a world, well, I don't know if he's world level or just British level or whatever. He's at least British champion. But for the, I mean, I'll tell you, I used to pay £2.50, which is like what, $3 or something like that, to train for like an hour or an hour and a half with this champion guy. Like, and you'd meet like loads of friends and stuff, like keep fit. So yeah, for me it was no brainer. So yeah, I did that for like 3 years or whatever. Could I repeat any of it now? Probably not. It's been a while since then, but yeah, little fun facts for you. I probably could remember some bits of it and stuff, and I remember like I'm a big follower of like boxing. I watch boxing. I never trained boxing, but kickboxing and boxing crosses over a little tiny bit. But yeah, I could remember things like holding your guard up and how to do punches and stuff like that. So yeah. Okay, Rumen said, hi Domi, what do you do for a living or work? We've answered this one. Someone else in Russian, Dr. Satch, said, what do you do for a living? We've answered your question as well. Okay, Afik has got 4 questions. Oh, greedy guy, man. Hi Domi, I have a few questions for you. How long since your first time, and how long did you discover Zero? So I already answered this before. 2003. First installed it, and then I came back like 2010, 2011. It was a bit of a crossover. I played different games between. I went off doing different things. So yeah, I can't remember exactly, but it's roughly that. What inspired you to start doing YouTube? Well, that was CNCHD, as I mentioned before, and become pro in general 0 hour. Well, the name DoMiNaToR, which is my old name, used to be Xenomorph, which is one of the aliens out of Alien vs Predator game, if you ever remember that. That had the capitalization on it as well. And what inspired me to become pro at 0 hour? Well, to be honest, I remember I got Game Ranger for the very first time, and I thought, nobody's gonna know me on this platform on Game Ranger. Like, if I've got the opportunity now to make a brand new name and just become someone. I installed Game Ranger, and I basically wanted to come up with a scary name, so I typed DoMiNaToR all in capital letters, and I quickly, after a few months, whatever, find it down to the capitalization and whatever. And I thought, right, this DoMiNaToR guy, I want to make him this alias. I want to be the best on Game Ranger. I want to, anyone who comes across me, or any 1v1 I join or whatever, I want to be the best. And I decided that in my head when I installed Game Ranger. And it was at that point kind of the name DoMiNaToR was born, and at that point where I decided I wanted to be actually decent in the game. Okay, how do you feel for being popular in the general 0 hour community? Wouldn't say I'm massively popular, to be honest. In the grand scheme of things, I'm always looking to become bigger and better, and I look at other YouTube channels and other games and stuff. And in the grand scheme of things, CNC 0 hour is super small, and my channel is super small. Yes, it's cool to have 15,000 subscribers. Yes, it's amazing, and honestly, I super appreciate it. And I always put thank yous up and stuff and whatever, because without subscribers and without viewers and whatever, my YouTube channel isn't anything. Like, it's all right. I'm not just saying that. Like, sometimes people say that, okay, I'll put out all these videos and whatever, and yeah, it's pretty cool. But without people actually tuning in to watch the live streams and like the videos and whatever, it's all the fans and the viewers. But yeah, it is pretty cool to have a smallish YouTube channel. If that answers your question. Do any of your family members or your friends know you have a YouTube career? wouldn't say it's a YouTube career as I came onto before, but yeah, family and friends, yeah, you know, I've got a YouTube channel. They quickly get bored and switch off. To be honest, they're not really that interested. My girlfriend actually takes the mick out of me about how I introduce myself on 0 Hour. Yo guys, what is up? Welcome back to some more 0 Hour. She actually says more like, she goes, "Hi noobs," and I'm like, I never say that. I never say it, but she's like, yeah, I heard you say. Miran said, "What do you think about Iron Harvest?" Iron Harvest is actually pretty good, but I only played the free beta version. The reason that is because after the beta version ended, I then had to buy the game to continue playing it, and I saw it was £46.99. And I, to be honest, thought it was super cheeky because this game was a crowd-funded game, and they set out their target of like $200,000 or $250,000, and they smashed their target. I'm sure they got like $490,000 or something to make this game. So it's a crowd-funded game, so the community... Okay, I wasn't in that community, I didn't crowdfund it, but the community, or the RTS community, funded that game, and then they charged £46.99. So that's like $50 or $55, or what, maybe $60, I don't know, for this game. So the question I asked myself is, like, this is a cool game, and yeah, I'll make a few videos about it, and yeah, I will enjoy it a bit, but is it worth to me £46.99? And the answer was no, I'm afraid not. So that's why you haven't seen any more videos on it. Yes, since they've done a little discount thing, they had like 10% or 15% discount. But I just thought it was a bit cheeky, or a bit like, are they overshooting themselves a little bit? Because like a crowd-funded game, it's like your wages were all paid by the RTS community, and then it goes on sale for $46.99. And I know there's things to take into account. Yeah, I didn't crowdfund it personally. I didn't give any donation towards it. And I also take into account, like, you value your game of the quality. So if you see it's a really high quality game, you're going to put it expensive. Because if you put a game in at £5 or $5 or $10, what does that say about the quality of game? Even if it's like amazing, like even if you're going to go and buy a Ferrari, if they put it at £1,000, are you going to believe it's really that decent? Or if it's £100,000, are you going to believe it is really decent in that case? The chances are you're probably going to make it... it's going to make more sense to think it's more high quality at the higher price. But yeah, in long story short, I didn't buy it because of the price. A Polyphony fan said, in an apocalypse between Size, Google, Fargo, who may die first? Oh... If you asked me a few weeks ago, I would have said Fargo for sure. But since I did that interview with him that you probably may or may not have seen, I actually quite like Fargo now. So maybe Google. But yeah, I don't know. Do you mean playing against each other, or do you mean if I was like the all-being god and I had to decide who was going to die first? Or I guess you just mean a fun question. Maybe I'd say fuck it. It's an apocalypse. Everyone's got to die. It's fair for everyone. Equality and all that lot. Everyone's going to die. Shark Sofo said, how to face a connection issues with the easy way to the noobs can play the game, and we can do something to make people back to the game. Okay. And become more pro players in the game. Okay, so maybe that sentence has been translated or something. How can we fix the connection issues? Well, again, all the information's out there, like in terms of fixing what ports to forward and how to fix any connection issues. Like, I've got a video on it. Just type in 0 Hour how to resolve connection issues. There's a video on it. And how can we make more pro players? Well, I'm always trying to do more to try and get new viewers and to try and get new people playing the game and tell people where they can get the game cheap and stuff like that. So if you've got any other ideas, feel free to share them. I'm always trying to do stuff like that at the moment. I'm trying to work with like an Indian-based platform at the moment. They've got like a big following on Instagram and on Facebook and stuff, primarily for other games like Valorant and stuff like that. But I'm trying to, yeah, there's a few of us. We're trying to like get 0 Hour more well known in the Indian market, because India's got a massive population and an ever increasing young population, and we're trying to get more people from that market to play the game. Potential for 0 Hour, yeah, potentially is going to happen, but I mean, let's see how much uptake it takes. Yeah, how can we get them pro? Well, there's loads of tutorials, like I said before, watching replays and stuff like that, but it's down to the individual. I can't just make them good. You've got to put in the effort themselves. Okay, so Lewis says, who do you consider your most difficult opponent and why? Whom do you consider your best ally and why? A best ally probably size, or I mean, I haven't played with him that much. Actually, it's probably a size, Excal, or Crazy. You probably would want by your side in a 3v3 or a 2v2. Actually, Google is very good as well. Google is very good. Any of those I'd be happy with. But yeah, you can kind of always rely on size. I think it's important to get the communication between your allies super clear. So whoever you play with, you want your communication and whatever to be the best. You don't want them like yeah, it's important to have a good communication. So I think with all of them people I mentioned, not only are they very good, but I think their communication is good too. Who do you consider your most difficult opponent? Historically, it has always been size, you know, because there's very few days where actually I've had a positive score against him. It's like super hard. But as of recently, like I said before, I've been playing a lot of Clan Wars. Over the last like week or whatever, or no, the last probably 2 or 3 weeks, there's been like 2 days where I had really good scores against size. I mean, I didn't play him that much, probably only played him like 3 times, but of them 3 times, probably 2 of them I was like very positive against him. I think one day was like 7-5 and the other day was like 5-1 or 5-2 for me. So it historically was size, but I think the more I'm playing him and the more I'm kind of adapting and thinking differently, I think size is becoming a little bit easier. So who's the most difficult at the moment? Well, Excal is very difficult as well. There's also Logica as well, is very difficult. So, but I think it's just a matter of playing them more. So yeah, there's a few there. I think historically it would have been size, but as of recently, that's kind of changing to probably more Excal or Logica. Okay, so Saf once said, are you going to teach your children how to become expert in Zero? Yes, without a doubt, 100%. I mean, I've already got him. He's got a Intel i7. He's got a Logitech G5 gaming mouse. Nah, am I going to teach him to be expert in Zero? Probably not, because by the time he gets a little bit older, Zero will probably have faded out. I mean, it's sad to say that, but we've got to face the reality. There'll be something bigger, better coming soon. So, yeah, do I want my son to be involved with computer games and stuff? Do I think it's probably good for himself? Probably not a lot, but I think you grow up as a product of your surroundings. I mean, he's already like coming in my gaming room, looking at all my lights, like slamming on the keyboard and stuff, and I think it's only a matter of time. You have to kind of accept it. Probably, I'm not gonna like put him in front of a computer, but I mean, if he takes a liking to it, I probably will end up buying him like a Ryzen Zen 3 5950X GeForce 3090. So yeah, I don't intend on doing it, but I think it'll probably naturally happen. Ali Sabah says, who's the top 10 in Zero from 2010 to 2020? In all honesty, I think I kind of answered that. Maybe not top 10 in all time, but I mean, it's probably kind of hard to do, and probably a video in itself. So yeah, I'll leave that for now. What's your favorite general? Sam Ao or O said. I think there's a few. Air is probably my ultimate favorite one. If there's just one. Stealth and Tox probably close second. What's the origin of the term Fargo Pop? Nishal Joshi said, well, the origin of the term Fargo Pop is if you've been watching all of my live streams whenever Fargo is involved. Several months ago, he would always do what's called a Fargo Pop, which is like, let's say you're doing a GLA mirror. There's like 10 scorpions outside of your tunnel and they're all firing their rockets. What's the worst time to pop your stuff? It's at that given moment. You don't want to pop your stuff from that tunnel. You want to pop from somewhere else and attack somewhere else, or you want to pop from a further tunnel back and then engage once they've used their rockets or whatever. Fargo, no, he would historically just pop his units at the worst possible time and lose all of his stuff. They typically wouldn't be really horrendous ones, like he wouldn't pop his entire army and lose them in one shot, but he'd be like losing an engagement and then pop like another 3 quads and 2 RPGs, but they'd all go down instant because there's like a massive V army outside the tunnel or something crazy. So that's the origin behind it. So yeah, keep watching this space. I'm sure he's got more to come, although he is becoming more aware of it because because I keep mentioning it and because we handed it to Urban Dictionary. Jawad says, are there secret stuffs in Discord in Domination? A real remaster project? Oh, I kind of already answered this before. It's not a remaster project, but it is going to be used to hopefully get EA's attention and to show you what potential Zero Hour could have. It is just a for fun video, like a for looks thing. It's not going to be something you can play, for example. STSPR says, why don't you play more matchups with Legionnaire? Well, Legionnaire, I'm just going to tell you straight. I don't like this guy. I don't like him even remotely. He once attacked me for absolutely no reason, like publicly. So I never ever want anything to really do with this guy. So yeah, I don't really like him for that. Elephants never forget, and I will never forget. So I don't like him at all. That said, he only plays really lower level free-for-alls and stuff like that. He's not anywhere near like a pro 1v1 level or any type of competitive player. So we probably will never clash because of that. And not to mention, when I joined one of his free-for-alls once under did I join it under undercover name or not? I can't remember if I did. One of the rare times I ever joined his game. There was a free-for-all. I mean, I even made a video about it. He was doing blatant teaming with one of his mates in there. So I mean, even when you do join a game, he's teaming with his friends that he has on Discord. So I mean, there's just no point even remotely comprehending joining this guy. So yeah, the Or Rule said, since no one asked here, how are you? Excellent, thanks, Or Rule. I'm glad you asked, actually, because no one asked. I'm feeling a little bit better about myself because I have got rid of my cold that I had for the last 2 weeks or whatever, which is one of the reasons for delaying this video. But other than that, yeah, I'm pretty cool. How are you? Ali G, nice name. Any strategy suggested for USA other than Air Force to beat GLA without V's? There is one random thing you can do. Go USA Vanilla and take the Paladin tank and make... how many Paladins do you want to make? Make one Paladin and drop a dozer on one supply. Crush a load of workers, if you can. Drop a Paladin on the other supply and use the Paladin to micro it around so it doesn't get killed by the terrorist. The point defense laser on the Paladin will kill the workers as well as terrorists that get too close. But hopefully the battle drone can help you out as well. And then make another Paladin and drop it on his other supply after the dozer's died. Try that. Sometimes against lower players, that'll get you a win. Sometimes against high level players as well, you'll win as well. Why is big size hard to beat? Now the reason big size is hard to beat is because he's been playing for a very, very long time. Like I said before, he's probably been playing close to 17 years, like always with the best players and never plays lower level players, always plays the best. Plays a lot. Very good decision making, and yeah, it basically comes down to that. A lot of people say, oh, he's slow. I've seen him playing, he's really slow. He's not slow, he's as fast as any other person, but he's also really good at decision making, knowing when to take an engagement. He won't do a fargo pop, for example, ever. If he's losing an engagement on one side of the map and there's no way he can recover it, he will attack on the other side of the map. It's decisions like that, magnified up across loads of little decisions he's making across the course of the game, build order strategy, stuff like that. His level is ahead of everybody else's. And Anton said, what's your job and hobbies? I kind of already covered that. Jan Arnold, why are you gay? I think that's a meme from the African interview. Just type in is it African or is it Uruguay or something? It's got to be, yes, the African interview. African, just type in Africa interview, why are you gay? It's so funny, man. You got to watch that. Hamza said, can you try any other mode than Zero? It'd be nice to see your reaction about the crazy stuff that's going on in the modes. He's put modes, but I think he means mods. There is some crazy stuff going on in mods, and actually recently I've been thinking I might try it because there's things in like Shockwave, Contra, Rise of the Reds, things like this. I'm not 100% sure exactly which ones, but there are 0-hour units that were meant for the original game but then got released in those mods instead, so you'd kind of see a snapshot of what 0-hour could have been. So yeah, it's for things like Seismic Tank, the Starlift, the Transport, things like that. Yeah, just Google it, just type in CNC General 0-hour Starlift Transport and see about that, and you'll see the kind of things that we're missing from 0-hour that were actually originally intended to be in the game. Miguel Ramos says, are you going to play CNC 3 Kane's Wrath anytime soon? The answer to that one is no. I did play it at a time, but the time for that is now long gone. Probably never going to play it ever again. The reason is it's dead. It's just simply dead. Songaku 1957, ass or tits? Oh, that's difficult. Is there an answer for both? I'm gonna go with tits. This video has been demonetized, YouTube says. Mr. P, why do you like General 0-hour and still playing it for how long? How long am I going to play it for? I don't know, man. I always say this year I'm going to quit, or this year I'm going to find something new, but it never happens. So how long am I going to play for? Probably the next few years at least. until we find another decent RTS game. Why do I like it? Because it's so addictive. I love the way the units interact with the map and with each other, and the way you can micro units. I love that it's not super futuristic, and I love the non-unit cap. So you haven't got a unit cap like in StarCraft 2 where you can make like 200 supply and that's it. You can make like 1,000 tanks. Okay, the game will crash, but you can make them if you wanted to. Tom Mayer said, why did you stop playing 1v1 pro level games? Well, I have started again playing recently, and I've also I'm in the tournament. I'm playing tonight, Strange Lands as well. So yeah, I'm playing it again. How many women you bashing? 1. Says James. Lazel says, how many rooms in your house or apartment? If you're talking bedrooms, there's 3, but one of them is my computer office, which is the smallest one. But yeah, there's 3. If you're talking in the whole house, how many do I have in the whole house? We've got 1 main bedroom is the top floor. I got 3 floors, by the way. It's kind of a weird house, but it's one of the reasons we bought it, because it's got extra space. We've got top floor, which is the main room. Middle floor has got like we've got an extra bathroom, we've got my son's room, we've got my office. So that's like 3, but my son's room is massive. It's pretty big. I mean, I say massive, it's massive for UK. I mean, if you look at UK size of houses compared to like America and stuff, we're way behind. We're actually some of the smallest houses in the world. So in the grand scheme of things, his room is kind of big for the UK, but not big in terms of comparing to the world. And on the ground floor, what do we have? We've got a garden, we've got a lounge, we've got a kitchen. Never actually added it up. We've got another bathroom. We've got 3 bathrooms. That's kind of cool. Well, one's like an ensuite. It's kind of cool, but it's not like a massive mansion or anything like that, if that's what you were expecting. Although I would love it. And for my future, I'm already dreaming about like in the future, I want to be able to play my music. Because like, I mean, I'm going all over the place here, but I'm missing kind of going to raves and pubs and clubs and playing music and stuff. And I can never really do that here in my office because I'm kind of in the middle of the house. I play music loud. The neighbors can hear, my son can hear when he's asleep, my girlfriend can hear. Even when I'm streaming, I talk loud. That kind of disturbs people. So yeah, I'm already dreaming about in the future, what can I save up for? What can I get like in my own gaming room, like kind of in the garden, like an outhouse kind of thing? What kind of weird stuff can I do? So I'm already dreaming about stuff like that. But right now I just live in kind of a regular house, to be honest. Neo says, is your real name Jeff or Vova? I wish my real name was Vova. So what is my real name? Well, I answered it before. It's Rich. It's not Vova, sadly. I would change it by deed poll if I could, which is how I would change it legally. Tank World says PC specs. What's my CPU? I'll tell you my basics. So my CPU is 3950X Ryzen. Switched over to Ryzen. I think you can get a better value for money, more cores and stuff like that. Right now for Ryzen. I've got the 2080 Ti, sad face, because now the 3080 is out. It's a lot cheaper and better performance. But I've got the best 2080 Ti. I think it's the best, which is the 2080 Ti for the Win 3, which is pretty much the fastest of the 2080 Ti's, or there or thereabouts, the fastest. And I think it's overclocked as well. So that compared to a 3080 Ti, compared to a 3080, I don't actually think the difference is that big. I think it probably would be like 5% or something like that. So again, I'm going off on a tangent here because you haven't asked this question, but I'm already thinking of upgrading. Do I want a 3090? Do I want a 3080 Ti if they get released? But they're kind of hard to come across at the moment. But yeah, I have the best as of a few months ago, but I'm thinking of upgrading already. Also, there's an AMD Ryzen Zen 3. All of this stuff, do you really need it? Do you really need it, Tommy? Do you really need that? No, I don't actually need it. But do I want it? Yeah, sometimes I do. Being locked away, just streaming and locked in my house, working and whatever. I kind of want new toys sometimes. I kind of want to see the performance increase. I kind of want to render videos 10% faster or 20% faster. So do I need it? No. Do I want it? Yes. Same as a lot of things in life. Aren't you tired of playing generals for so long? Game Pro said, sometimes I wish it was refreshing and stuff, but there's always stuff to learn in Zero Hour. We're always learning something new. Like I mentioned before about them hidden units in Zero Hour. There's hidden units. You're never the best. You're always wanting to kind of improve. There's always someone doing something new. There's always someone to try and work up and beat, or there's always other people who are becoming better and better, and you kind of got to stay on top of your game. There's always clan wars. There's 2v2s. There's nice variety within the game. There's casino. There's new maps. So am I tired of playing it? In all honesty, if I was, I would have quit and I would have stopped making videos and I would have stopped streaming. But in all honesty, no, I'm not bored. Who do I think? So this is Hey Mosh again. He says, who do you think deserves an expert badge? I think there was only recently 2 or 3 in contention for it, which is Fargo, which has already got it now. And then there was Vivid. I think he should deserve a badge right now. And there's also Shea, which Shea is pretty good. Defeated Size in the World Series. You could say Shea and Vivid are next in contention for it. But yeah, Fargo already promoted. Did you make yourself any casino maps? Aero Santish said. I haven't made myself any maps. I'm generally pretty bad at map making. I stick to playing and streaming. But I'm lucky enough to have people that are making maps, and I put out an 8-player request for casino, and I think it's Bamovich or Adrian. One of them is working on. Might have insulted someone. Who's working on it? Someone's working on an 8-player casino version, so maybe a few people are actually. So yeah, I hope to see soon an 8-player casino. That's what I'm super excited about, and hopefully you are as well. If you want to see that or any other kind of map, let us know in the comments below, and hopefully we'll see it. Last question. Is that M Kahal family said best live stream moment? I don't know the exact moment, to be honest, what would be the best live stream moment, but I can think of recently. What was that really close set we had? Was it XCal versus Boyka? Or yeah, I think it was XCal versus Boyka, or something like that. We had a really close set. It was like a best of 13 or a best of 15. It went right to the final decider, and it was like a tank mirror on Snowy Drought, and I think sadly Boyka lost it. But yeah, whatever game that was, I think that's the one that stands out the most in my mind. But there have been a few other moments, and I mean, I might need people to go out and dig out these videos, because there's been other crazy moments, like where a leaflet bomb has taken out an MOAB, for example. That's happened twice in my streams over the last like 6 to 12 months or something. The problem is, because I was doing streams, I think it was like in my Clan Wars times when I was spamming Clan Wars, I think I played that many games that it became lost and I couldn't find them again. So if you know what replays they were from, that's probably one of my most favorite, and I probably would like to make a a highlights reel of that. So yeah, that concludes this question and answers. I apologize if I missed any. I think I've covered everything. I can't remember if I asked in Discord. I don't think I did. I think I only asked on Facebook and YouTube. That's covered all the questions. Like I said, I've been through every single question and hopefully answered every single one in detail. If you've got any more for me, you can leave it in the comments. But yeah, just going back to it, honestly, I needed to make this question and answer video just so I can tell you a bit about my personal circumstance. And I've got this brand new, like he arrived in a box. I got this 18-month-old baby that is honestly my pride and joy. So yeah, hopefully you learned a little bit about me. Hopefully I've told you a little bit, maybe I've told you some tips about 0 hour and stuff, or what you can expect in the future, but hopefully you enjoyed it. And if you like hearing me just talk and stuff, maybe I'll do some like podcast Q&A things in the future, or maybe we can talk about some controversial topics or anything you want me to chat about in the future. I'm all in it for it. So yeah, GG, cheers for listening, and let me know in the comments if you got any more, and I'll see you very soon.